PowerPoint that says group settings for electronic resources and how to control access to electronic resources by patron IP range. And I'm here with Donna also. This is Yolo speaking, and I'm here with Donna. The reason we have the 245 and the 246 here is it was difficult to decide what exactly to call this. So we decided, considering we're librarians, to use the title and the alternate title. Because really we use the group settings for electronic resources in order to control access to the electronic resources. And that can be done either by the patron campus or the IP range. So we gave it both of these. Okay, let's go through the questions. Then we're going to go through a full demo, a full live demo of the use of this. And during the demo, we'll see exactly how this is used. Now, I hear an echo there. Something must happen on loudspeaker, coming off the loudspeaker and into the microphone. So anyway, either mute yourself or I'll... All right, so let's go through the questions at the beginning. Then we'll say, what does this do? Then we'll show it live. Open the questions in advance, but that's all right. We'll open the settings. There we are. That was pretty quick. Okay. So what are the questions we have? All right, I'm going to mute everybody. Sorry about that. I don't want to sound like a teacher. Oh, I see who's a teacher. I just one guy. See if that does it. How do I mute one guy? I don't have the mute option. Training team, if you're on the line, can you please mute everybody? And I'm going to close my email also. How do I mute everybody? Myself. I don't want to mute myself. All right, am I muted? Everyone's muted? Great. Okay, let's begin. Just give me a quick hand raise if you're still here because I want to make sure I didn't get muted also. Okay, the hands are going up. Okay, what are the questions we have now in advance? Let's take a look. When I define a campus, then save it. Okay, this is actually from someone on this meeting. I noticed a person on this meeting. The campus is missing the IP definition. We do not use IP definitions for our campuses. There is no restrictions for IPs. Is there a parameter or something somewhere we can say, I do not use the IP definition, let us leave it empty? Okay. There is not a parameter that says that. However, there's a way to say I don't use IPs, and we'll see that. How can I get a list of all portfolios where the same portfolio belongs to two specific groups? Okay, we have an advanced search field for that, and we're going to check that out as well. Currently, we do not use the group settings. However, we were considering trying to use it in order to make certain resources accessible only to students physically in the library. Is this possible? Yes, it is. And we'll see that. Okay, somebody says I'm very distorted on the phone. Interesting. Do other people not hear me clearly? Raise your hand if I am not clear.
At the bottom.
Okay, no other hands went up. Raise your hand if I am clear. Okay, a lot of hands going up. Okay, so you, I won't say your name or your place because we're supposed to keep everything anonymous. So it might be on your end because I got a message from Chicago and from somewhere in the northeast of the United States that they hear me fine. So it may be on your end. Okay, let's continue.
I have no idea.
Which parameter is more powerful? This is a nice one we did this morning with the APAC region. If somebody has the IP range and has a campus, which is more powerful? We'll see that in a moment also. It says, Yoa, maybe pick up the receiver. Okay, thank you. How can a campus be defined when coming outside of Primo? In other words, we're coming from PubMed, from EBSCO, somewhere outside via an open URL. The campus needs to be defined. Okay, enough of that. Let's actually get right down into it. We're going to look at one slide, and then you can all look at this on your own in your free time, group settings for electronic resources. It has everything in here that we're going to do, plus a lot more. We're just going to look at slide 5. Why do we use electronic group settings? It's in order to control the access to the electronic resources. There may be a library or a group of libraries called a campus, which are responsible for the acquisitions or use a certain budget for an acquisitions of certain resources, and only certain groups of students who belong to that campus or that group or that library can access those resources. And that's why we use it. Let's go do an example here. So I have here my Primo and my Alma. And let's go into Alma for a moment. Let's say we're looking for everything with Project Gutenberg free ebooks, which, by the way, is from way, way back. If you recall, we had a session on making local electronic collections and linking portfolios to it. It was an Ask the Expert session, also with Don and myself, quite some time ago. And this is a leftover from that. So we're connecting a lot of things together. And we have here the Velveteen Rabbit. The Velveteen Rabbit has 2 electronic versions, one in Project Gutenberg and one at the University of Pennsylvania Digital Library. Those are the 2 collections that it belongs to. And if we come to Primo and we look for that, we will see that we have a View It tab. And in that View It tab, I can access both of those. Here I'm logged in as guest, as you can see on the top right. And also, if I access this via an open URL, I can also view both of them. This is my open URL access. It's the URL, and then uResolver, the name of the institution, open URL question mark, and then my field, in this case, rft.isbn. And I've got everything here, which, as we know, is mashed up here, which, as we know, is really coming from Alma. Okay, so this is appearing in Alma, is also appearing in the open URL. Now, let's just close that Amazon link, and here we go. So, the first thing we're going to do, though it's not mandatory, we're going to define a campus. So we'll go to the General Configuration menu and define a campus. The campus will next be in the group setting. The group setting can include either a campus or a library or both. For our purposes here, we'll make a campus. We'll say Add Campus, and let's call this let's actually make it the Downtown Campus. We already got a Downtown Campus. The Downtown Campus. And let's say this includes the Law and Medicine Library downtown in the Central District. Okay. My spelling's getting better, as you can see. Those of you veteran Ask the Expert people. Okay. By the way, we've been doing these Ask the Experts for quite some time. We should see it's well over a year, that's for sure. So now we have a campus called the Downtown Campus. Now we're going to add this campus to a group setting. But before we do that, we'll edit the campus, and we'll see this message that somebody said they got. Campus is missing IP definition. That was in one of the questions. Someone said they get this campus is missing IP definition. We don't use IP definitions. What do we do? If you don't use IP definitions, and you don't want to, you can always define the definition here as 1.1.1.1 to 255.255. Oh, here it is even. All of this means all IPs. Add and close. So let's stick this into a notepad. Ooh, that's another issue we were dealing with. Purchase order lines canceled. So here we have all IPs. So I'm going to say here, home, that the downtown campus has this IP. Okay, it's all IPs. I'm going to be searching in Alma and in Primo, actually, from this IP. This is my IP. You don't need to know that I was looking there. Here's my IP. Here we have some background noise. Let's put that in. So I'm coming from here. Now we're going to say which libraries are part of this campus. Okay, so we're going to add here we said the law library and the medicine library. Attached library. So this campus includes the medical library and the law library. Save. And let's put that in. Also, I chose a really complicated abbreviation. The TBTC includes the law and medicine library. Okay, we have to settle our definitions in here. This is the good point. This is the negative point of doing everything live. I could have just showed you a PowerPoint. We wouldn't have had to do this, but it wouldn't have had the real same effect. Now we're going to make our group. Let's make sure this is defined properly. Anytime I visit a library, see, they always do this. They do something in Alma, then they go make sure it really is saved. Okay, and it really is. We can trust Alma. Let's go now, Resource Configuration menu, to the Inventory Network Groups. This is where we define the group that later we're going to put inside the electronic resource or inside the entire electronic collection. And let's make a brand new one, Add Group. And we'll call it something perhaps a little easier. The group name will be the Downtown Group. Group description, the campus downtown. Add and close. Now, inside this downtown group, we can add either a library. We said at the beginning that the group can include a campus and or library, or multiple campus and multiple libraries. We're going to add now the campus, which we just made a moment ago, the downtown campus. Oops, there was a problem. Great. And we have our save change. And that's been saved. Click that again just to be sure. Okay, so again, we went to Resource Configuration menu, Inventory Network Groups. Here's our downtown group, and it's related to that campus. Now, it's not going to do anything for us until we put it into an electronic resource. So here we are. Someone says, but this would limit access to people who are only physically in that location, correct? We're going to talk about that in a moment. The question just came up, but this would limit access to people only physically in that location, correct? Let's wait on that. The answer is yes. But in our, yes and no. I'll say yes, provided they don't have the campus in their user record. But hold on, please, on that one. I'm going to take your question without your name. We're keeping everything private. And I'm going to write here, question that came in at 17:16 local time. Okay? Boom. We're going to answer that question in a moment. Now, here comes along the Velveteen Rabbit, portfolios. And we know that it has one in the University of Pennsylvania collection, one in the Project Gutenberg collection. We're going to edit the Project Gutenberg one and say, group settings, we're going to add that group setting now. The downtown group. I can also do a lot more here with the years and the coverage and the proxies. We're keeping things simple here. We only have an hour, though if you recall several times we suggested making these Ask the Experts longer. And save. Great. So now we can see already in the look ahead, the portfolio look ahead, not the all titles look ahead. Here's the all titles look ahead. Velveteen. We don't see, but in the portfolio look ahead, we can see that this one is related to a specific group. Now, I'm back in Primo. I'm searching. I click View It, and I still see them both. No problem. More than that, I still see it also in my open URL. That's good. It's good because I'm guest, and this group has the full IP range of 1111 to 255, 255, 255, 255. Now I'm going to come along, go to this campus, define the IP in this campus as being edit. Everybody recalls that I'm 212.179. I'm going to say that now I'm from 213 up, and now I'm not searching from this IP range. Done. I'm a guest. I am guest, and now the campus is IP. Boom. Sorry about my spelling. It's getting better, though. You have to admit it's getting better, those who have been around for a while. Okay. Now, you who sent this question, we're going to see that the answer is yes. What's going to happen now? Save. I search again, view it, magic. Now I don't have the Gutenberg link. I'm coming from a different IP than is defined, and I'm guest, which means I don't have the campus in my patron record, because I don't have a patron record. However, here also, I don't have it, because I'm not a user, and here, so far, I haven't defined the campus. I'm just going to play for 1 minute. The downtown campus. Unbelievable. Look at that. Now I do have it. I have defined inside my open URL the campus. We're all looking at each other in amazement here in the room. Because one of the questions here is, how do we define, how can the campus be defined when coming from outside Primo? If somebody is linking from PubMed, EBSCO, anywhere, if they define in there the campus, where were we? Here. They can also see, I'm going to get rid of that URL, that definition there. Boom. I got to refresh everything. Search, view. I'm guessed I don't have it. Oh, this guy's still connecting. Okay, we saw that I didn't have it, and then I put it in. I still don't have it here. Let's get rid of, let's go into a new tab and open one up again. Straight in. There it is. Okay. I don't have the campus here. I don't have the link to Gutenberg, which has the campus. Now I come along. Let's say here, that looks so bad, and now the, okay. The campus is this. I don't have access. But now I'm going to be a patron. Let's take a patron. Users. Cindy Brady. I'm going to stop and take everyone's questions in a moment. Let me just finish a flow here. Now this user will get the downtown campus. Save. Now this user with this campus is going to log in. I've got all kinds of WebEx things in my banner here. Okay. You have to excuse me. I've got to use a macro here. I don't remember anything. I can log in with macros. Sorry. Primo, boom. Okay, logging in now as a user. Hold on. Signing in. Yep. Okay. And now I'm logged in. I'm going to do the same exact search where a moment ago I did not have the link to Gutenberg, which has this campus, which has the group, which has the campus. Do the same search again. And now, view it. Now I do have it. Everybody sees I do have it now. I do have it now because I'm logged in as a user who has that campus, even though I'm coming from an IP which is not defined for that campus. It's being overridden by the campus in the user who is logged in. So that answers this question here. How did they call it? Which is more powerful? Which parameter is more powerful? Somebody said here, which parameter is more powerful for a logged in user? The IP range he comes from or the campus in his patron record? The answer is the campus in his patron record, and we have scientific proof of that right now. I'm logged in from a different IP than is defined in the campus, but I can still see the record because in my user group, I have that campus. So the campus of the user group overrides the bad IP that I'm coming from. Okay, let's stop now. Questions, comments, etc. Participants, go ahead. You can send it in. You can talk. You can do whatever you want. No questions or comments? Let's do a quick sound check. Can everybody hear all right? Raise your hands if you hear okay. Okay, everybody hears. No questions. This morning there was a lot of questions. Let's see, how many of you out there have a multi-campus setup in your institutions today? I'm scrolling down looking for hands. Okay, we've got quite a bit of hands. Wow, oh. At the bottom of the list there's more. That's funny. People whose names start with after RST. Oh, okay. There's a decent amount here. So there's no questions. It's either because it's, anytime there's no questions, we have to ask ourselves, either it's such a clear presentation, or it's so over the head, no one even knows what to ask. We don't know. Let's go on here now. We added, if there's no questions, we're going to move on, but feel free again to just throw in a question right in the middle. We added the user group here, or the group, the inventory group, to one specific portfolio. Somebody, excuse me, I almost said someone's name. So it has nothing to do with Easy Proxy behind the scene? That's correct. It has nothing to do with Easy Proxy behind the scenes. And I see here we have another question. We don't manage our resources via separate campuses, but we are interested in managing our resources by user group. For example, when staff are logged into Primo, we would like them to be able to see the e-resources we manage for staff only. We wouldn't want these e-resources visible to patrons. Is that possible? I don't know of a way to do it by user group, but...
No, not by user group, but no, it could. For electronic resources, even in the display logic, you cannot use the user group, so I don't think you can.
No, not by user group. You would have to say everyone in user group X has campus X. Mm-hmm. And then make a campus, which would be everything, right? Yeah. A campus, which would be everything, and then you'd be able to do it. But not strictly by user group or patron group.
Yeah. Patron group is available for use in the display logic room for physical services, not for electronic services.
Okay. Did everybody hear Donna? She talks a little softer than me. She's much gentler than I am. She said you can use it. Oh, I won't comment. I won't say the comment here. No, you who said that, but you can, again, define a campus for those people, which would be the whole library. Okay, anyway, let's go on here. When we defined the group for the Velveteen Rabbit, we went into the portfolio, and then we went to the group settings, and we added it here. What we also could have done, by the way, have you seen this all along the board, like also in the vendor record when there's notes? Whenever there's something, we have a blue thing here. You see, even if I'm in notes now I'm going to add notes. Sometimes the access is not good. Okay. Well, let's be positive. Sometimes the access is great. Now we got blue here. You see, that's a nice little feature we added a couple of versions ago. Okay, anyway. I could also have gone on the level of the electronic collection, GUTEN, and here, if I add it, edit, I also have a group settings tab here on the level of the collection, and here if I add, save settings, save. Now all of the portfolios got it, all in one shot. I don't have to go into each one separately. Now, something else which is interesting, unless it already has one, by the way. This one already had it. Now I'm going to add also to this one, group settings. So he's going to have 2 of them. Now this one has 2 of them, 2 groups. So he's going to take definitions from this and this. Now, the question which came up here, let's go to the other question we got. How can I get a list of all portfolios where the same portfolio belongs to 2 specific groups? In other words, if I add 2 or more network inventory management groups to one electronic resource, like we have here right now, you can see the semicolon here. It has a science and physics library campus group and the downtown group. Then they both appear in the available for line, like we just saw. They also have a facet option. We're going to see this is good. Thank you. But the facet is by each group. I cannot use the facets because it facets by one group at a time or all. Okay. So somebody wants all of the portfolios which have the science and physics library and the downtown group. Let's put that here just so we got it. And they say if they facet here, they get only those with science and physics. And if they go here, downtown, they get only the downtown ones. And of course, if they do nothing, they get all of them. How can they get just those with this and this? So inside the repository search, inside the advanced search, for the portfolios, and for the collections, by the way, we have available only for group. And we can say here, for example, that it equals the science and physics library, and add this condition again with an and. This time we'll say the downtown group. And now we get only those which have both, which is this one here. Okay, that covers this question. Let's go through our questions one by one. We saw if you don't want to use the campus, you can the IP, excuse me, if you don't want to use the IP, you can define it as 1.1.1.1 to 255. That's all across the board. There's other places also where we define IPs, for example, when defining the RSS feeds or the OAI feed. How can I get a list of all portfolios where the same portfolio belongs to 2 specific groups? We saw that here. You can do an advanced search of only for a specific group and do a Boolean AND. Okay, currently we do not use the group settings, however we're considering trying to use it in order to make certain resources accessible only to students physically in the library. That is definitely possible. You can define that it's an IP of whatever is in the library. We had an IP of 213 on. When I was 212, I could not see it. When the IP did include my IP range of 212 whatever, I was able to see it. So if you make a campus setting with the IP of, depending on how it's set up in your place, the reading room or the whole library or the campus, then you can set it up so only somebody with that IP or the campus in their user record will be able to access the resources. Which parameter is more powerful for a logged in user, the IP range or the campus in his patron record? We saw it's the campus in his patron record. First, we were not able to access a resource because we were outside the range. We added the campus in the user record. The person logged in and was able to get it. How can the campus be defined when coming from outside Primo? We saw that that can be done by putting the campus here inside the open URL by doing -the downtown campus. And now I do see both resources.
So this option of defining an open URL which is specific to a campus, here you created an open URL, a base URL that is specific to the downtown, what is it?
The downtown campus.
Okay, the downtown campus. Then it's useful, for example, when you configure a database which is not within the library system, not your discovery interface. So, for example, if you go to PubMed and you want to redirect all the link resolver requests to a specific campus, then you can configure PubMed with the appropriate base URL, in this case, the URL that you see here. And then when you search in PubMed for citations or articles and so forth, then clicking on the open URL link within PubMed will direct the user to the link resolver with an indication that that the user should see only services that are applicable for the downtown campus. So this is the option. This is the option that allows you to do such configuration.
Okay, and everything we've gone through, by the way, again, is in this detailed presentation. This part, for example, about defining the campus and the open URL, just as an example, is here, where we show exactly what happens. We come from an IP, we define the campus inside. This is the syntax here. This is for a science physics campus. This is for a law campus. This is for no campus. So you've got everything in here. Here we use the campus and we do see the access, etc. Okay, I see we have another question here. Oh, that's a long one. Let's see. I'm going to copy and paste it. Oh, I don't want to take someone's name. One moment, please. Here it is. Start to, oh, no. Here we go. It says, if we were to define a campus to provide access to a specific group, how would that affect their circulation rights? No effect at all on circulation rights. This is only for access to electronic resources. There is a way to define that hold requests can only be picked up. You can only make the pickup library be in a separate campus, but that's a whole other story. Another one. This may be unrelated. Let's see, I'm going to copy and paste this so I can do it properly. And I don't have anyone's name there. That's from before. Let me paste this in here so everyone can see. Okay, this may be unrelated to the content of the webinar. That's all right. Feel free to talk about anything you want here. But this is the deliver link that appeared on Velveteen Rabbit. What does it do? Oh, the deliver link is because, okay, you can ask anything you want. This deliver link is because this resource also has a digital file. It has the full gamut, the P, the E, and the D. So because it has the digital also, it has the deliver here, and the deliver is for delivering the actual digital object. That's all. I got a PDF in here, and look at that. Isn't that beautiful? This is my favorite demo record because I can do the physical, the electronic, and the digital. Of course, I'm not using strict RDA, but that's all right. And then I got it here. Okay, so that's the deliver. Next, when a library, let's take this one, copy, pasting. This is our next question here. When a library uses a campus library IP settings, is it possible to display in Primo the collection with the information that this collection is available only for another campus library IP question mark?
So to show that a specific service is available for someone else? No.
No. you simply don't see the link in the first place. Okay. Are there any other questions or comments? Let's do a quick sound check. Sorry if your shoulders are hurting and you got to raise your hand again. Let's just make sure everyone's still with us. Okay, the hands are all going up. Are there any other questions or comments? No other questions or comments. Okay, so this is the first time I think we've ever finished an Ask the Expert earlier than scheduled. But that's fine. So let us know your ideas for future sessions, and we'll see everybody next time. Everything we did here is in this full presentation. We'll get this available for everybody. And thank you for joining us. Have a nice day.